Hello again, it's Noob, and I think we've got something very special today. This is a premium lever padlock pick set, and I think the market has been crying out for something which is available for anybody to buy, and is a premium quality interchangeable tip padlock pick set, because that's what this is. And this is brought to you by the minds of two people you might already know, which is Andy Mac. You may know his YouTube channel where he focuses mostly on lever locks, and he's not only an excellent lever lock picker but a wonderful lever lock tool maker in his own right, as well as, and some of you may recognize where this tip design came from, GJ Locks, who you might know as one of the UK's leading locksmith tool manufacturers. Both really nice guys, and indeed this padlock pick set is based off the multi-pick set which GJ Locks sells to locksmiths. And you see this is a little bit longer, but has the same mechanism where you've got these interchangeable tension tips. Very cool. So how does this differ? Well, it's clearly a little bit shorter, and for lever padlocks, I think that is really, really nice. It's a lot more comfortable, especially if you're going to hold a padlock and pick in hand. It's just a bit better to hold and for feedback, in my opinion. But nevertheless, the same mechanism is in place, same design, where you have these interchangeable tips, and it is really such a neat design. So you have a little nib here and a hole there, and that interlocks very nicely into it. That means that it doesn't rotate round. It's very firm, very good tolerances, and then you just screw this down finger tight and then it won't come out. In fact, there is a little notch on the back to make sure there's a good contact between this thumb turn and the pick tip itself. So there are two tips. There's this one, which has a screw-in tension tip there, as well as this one, there we go, which is clearly a lot broader. There we go, lovely. Now you'll also notice that there are 3 wires here, and these are just different thicknesses. So the black one, get that one out for you, is 1.57 millimeters. It's the thickest. The next thickest is the yellow at 1.4. You might be able to tell a little difference there. And then you've got the green one at 1.2 millimeters. And you can see that these are really nice finished padlock lever wires. Really, really nice. And they're quite short. Again, when you're working with a padlock, especially if you're holding it in hand, these short lever wires certainly give better feedback than long lever wires. You know, you don't have to get through any sort of door or anything like that to get to a padlock, so it's good that you can get a bit closer into it, unlike some lever mortise locks where they're embedded into the door itself. So yeah, so far so good. What can they pick? Well, I have picked, or at least at the very least attempted to pick under tension, all of these locks that you see here. Even ones you might not expect it to, it works on. So we have things like the classic Squire 660 Old English, fire service locks. We have the classic Chubb Battleship there, really nice old one, that one. A Chubb Cruiser, and you might think, but that's got an offset sort of angle, but nevertheless this pick tip actually does go in quite nicely and will tension the lock. What else do we have? We have the classic era 5 lever insurance padlock. It's really nice picks, these. We have things like the Squire 770 over there, which is pretty much the same internals as the 660. The Warsaw 2000, which I picked recently. Some of the kind of Belfry 2 lever locks, Aldridge locks. I think I've got some Bulldog locks as well out there which work, and Squire Defiance. So a whole range of these lever padlocks can be picked with just these 2 tips. I'll do a demonstration of me picking, and I'll use a cutaway lock just so you can see how the tips work and how you would put the wires in and tension it and pick it. And then I will come back and discuss some of the locks which I found that these 2 tips just don't pick, sort of. So I've tried to angle this so you can see inside but not get too many reflections off my red t-shirt. I've chosen this tension tip, and that will go in over this up post in the centre of the lock with its pipe tension tip there, and you can see it engaging with that bolt talon at the back. I can slip in a wire like this, or indeed if it was tighter I could put it in at the bottom, then hold it in place while I sort of rotate the tool round. That's another way of sort of getting this in, but hey, you know, it's easy for me to just pop it in through the side like that, so that's what I'm going to do now. Then you just apply a little bit of tension, and you can even support it with another finger here if you want. I personally find that quite comfortable, and just go through and try to find the binding levers. Oh wow, this is a very easy pick, by the way, and we're open, but you know, you can see that it's just a very simple to use tool, nothing really to it, and yeah, really nice. Okay, so you saw it in action. Works really well, I think. Now, locks which it doesn't work on, and I'm sure, you know, there's how many different lever padlocks are there out there? Quite a lot, but these are pretty much the most recognised ones. Apart from the era Big Six, most people would know the era Big Six if they were into lever padlocks. The only reason why this won't pick it is because the up post on the inside of the lock here is just too big. If you look at the key versus this one, so these are pipe keys, if you look at that, you'll see that it's just a little bit wider. So it's pretty much the only one which I found that it couldn't pick. Then there are smaller locks like this, and if you look at the tension tip here, which fits perfectly in, say, the Squire 660, like that, it goes all the way in, tensions the lock beautifully. It's just a little bit long to fit into the lock, so you can see there's definitely space to put a lever wire around it should you find a tip that works, and I don't think there's any reason why you couldn't get a little grub screw like that which will fit perfectly nicely in there, and just file this down to take the threads off to size. You can see that that's actually pretty much perfect apart from the threads to tension this lock. So again, just because out of the pack there isn't a specific tension pick for these smaller old English style padlocks, it doesn't mean that, you know, with a grub screw and 5 minutes with a file you couldn't create a tension tip for the one that's already provided. So how much is this going to set you back? Well, these are currently being manufactured in very small batches. It's clearly a precision made tool. It really is, you know, as you can probably tell, of the highest quality, and just really, really nice. Oh, and yes, it does come with a case as well, and a grub screw. The the hex key. The hex key is very useful for adjusting this bar, so you don't want it equal, you want it more on one side than the other. You can shift it left and right, it's fine if you want. So this comes in at £120, which isn't cheap, but it is quite good value for what you're getting, because there isn't really anything else out there on the market which offers such high quality tooling as this. I have to say, I really, really like it. Now, how can you get one? Well, there's two ways. You can go to AndyMac's website, and you can join his website. It's got a monthly fee, and you get 15% of all the orders that you go on there. There's loads of AndyMac's tools on there, so do go check that out if you're interested. But if you only want this tool, then what you can do is you can just contact him by email. I'll leave an email address below, and request to buy one, and then he'll sort out payments and everything with you. So yeah, I think it's a really, really welcome addition to the lever padlock tools which are available, which I have to admit, relatively few and far between these days. So I really, really appreciate Andy and GJ Locks bringing something new and of such high quality to the table. I know I'll certainly enjoy using it, and I think if you got one, you probably would too. Well, let me know what you think of this in the comments. Would you get one? What do you think of it? Let me know, and I'll see you all next time.